Good morning and welcome to Brewing Happiness. Well, fall is coming, right? Went shopping the other day, went to the craft store. All you can see is fall everywhere. Fall, Halloween, even Christmas. The seasons are changing. Have you ever noticed that as the seasons change, that your moods change too? Well, that's just a fact. As the seasons change, the way humans feel and interact change. I mean, I love the seasonal changes. I miss them a bit here in Southern California. We have seasonal changes, but they're a bit subtle compared to other places in the country, right? In fact, I love the seasons so much, I'm writing a new book. I'm going to have a book of poetry next year that's dedicated to the seasons and the changes in the seasons. Hi, I'm Tina Ann. I'm the Queen of Happiness, and you're here on Brewing Happiness. And if you're here on the replay, yay, drop me a line, leave me a note, give me a little an emoji or a heart or something to let me know if you're liking the show, a comment. Love to hear from you. Now, we're going to talk about the seasons today. If you end up liking the show and you want the show notes, just leave me a one-word comment. Just say notes down there in the comments, and I will personally send you my notes for the show and the resources that I use to come up with, the resources I use to write this. All right. Now, transformation and change, both a part of life, right? I'm only a minute in. Okay. Both a part of life, and change is, I mean, it's inevitable, right? And the seasons kind of are our outward manifestation or outward visualization of these changes, right? Year after year, every couple of months, we have a seasonal change. And if we tune in with nature, we can learn to flow with those currents of life, right? With the currents, with the flow of the season, the earth, the rhythms. It's all going on around us. Whether you pay attention, whether you use it to your advantage or not, it's going to happen. Winter's going to come, the seasons are going to change, and you're going to feel those seasonal changes, but being aware of them might make it a little easier, right? So according to Live Science, a site called Live Science, there is evidence of seasonal peaks, right? We have seasonal peaks in suicide, more in the summertime. Seasonal peaks with birth rates, more in the spring and the summer. Now, those both have some other factors that are going on, right? People are crazy in the summer and they hunker down in the winter, right? But there is hard scientific evidence that humans are more likely to get less happy during the fall and the winter seasons. And since we are in the process of approaching fall, I thought this would be a great time to talk about this, just to make you aware, right? Just to make you aware that it's coming and that it's not necessarily anything you or bad or anything you have to do anything about, but awareness always helps us understand, and understanding helps us accept and move on, right? So a study done, according to a study on human behavior that's based on the seasons, humans are likely in the late fall and in the early winter suffer from something called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. It's a sad little acronym, isn't it? I get sad we get sad in the fall and in the winter, right? Okay, well, get ready, because fall is coming, and that's why we're talking about it. Now, a study done in 2001 found that people who suffer from SAD, they actually secrete the hormone melatonin for longer periods of time during the winter nights than during the summer nights. And this is not usual, because this fluctuation is not normally found in mammals, right? Normally, melatonin production does not vary based on the seasons. So for a small percentage of people, it does. And so you are likely to feel more sad. But it doesn't matter if you have this sad thing or not. You probably noticed your mood changes with the seasons. It just happens, right? When change happens around us, we are part of it. We're swept into it. But did you know your brain activity also changes based on the seasons? What? A Belgian study published in 2016 found that our brain utilizes its resources differently in the summer and the winter, depending on what the season is. Seasonal fluctuations are important in animals, right? Mood and immunity change with seasons in both humans and animals. And now we have new information that says this could be our brain as well. This study followed 28 folks during all 4 seasons, and they spent each season 4.5 hours locked down in a room where they had no access to the outside, no sunshine, no seasonal cues. So their body didn't have any way to know which season it was, right? The test scores didn't change from season. They did some things that required cognitive functioning. They did some stuff that required memory. And the test scores didn't change from season to season. But when they scanned brains for activity, they found activity in the brain changed from season to season. Test scores didn't change, but the neural cost, the resources required, the time it took to do the processing, that's what changed. In the summer, brain activity peaked on attention tasks, and during the winter, less activity involved in paying attention. And on the memory task, the brain peaked in autumn, hit a low in the spring. What? So what? Right? What does this mean? Well, what it means is the brain is more active in the summer when attention tasks are being performed, but in the fall, we use more activity. I don't really understand this. This simply means our brains adapts to the level, adapts its efficiency to the time of the year. I've read other studies that said the temperature of your brain makes a difference on its processing and its the resources necessary to function. So maybe it is that the warmer summer changes our brain activity. My personal hypothesis. But bigger activation means more means available to the task, right? So the more activation going on in your brain, the easier the task is. Less activation is it's going to take longer, you're going to work harder. So lower activation in the winter brain means it's less efficient, maybe harder to do tasks. Have you noticed this during the summertime when it's warm and maybe things in the winter aren't quite as clear? I don't know. But science has known for a long time that your mood can change with, we all know that your mood can change with the seasons. But this is kind of new information, this 2016 study, that it's not just our mood. It's not just our metabolism, but indeed our brain functioning. So bottom line is, as the seasons come and go, we are going through changes. We are going through seasonal changes on top of, forget your life changes, right? What's going on at work, with the kids, with the man, with the car, with the house payment, those changes, of course, we deal with all the time. But on top of that, we've got these seasonal impacts impacting the way we think, the way we process our emotions, the way we react to what's going on around us. Big food for thought here. So, like I said, science has known about the mood for a while, known about the metabolism for a while. Now we're moving into the brain. We all know it's easier to gain weight in the winter, right? Our gene activity changes with the seasons, as well as our immune activity. Do you know we even perceive colors differently in the summer than in the winter? Is this because the light is different? Because the summer sunlight has a different coordination of, gathering of rays? I don't know. I'm just asking the questions. So the seasons. We're going to travel through the year, through the seasons, right? Winter. Winter is a time for self-reflection. Hibernation, right? Some animals even hunker down to the point where they just check out for the winter, right? And we do the same thing on a smaller scale. Winter is a time for self-reflection, hibernation, inward meditation. Winter's about nourishing ourselves, right? It's about eating warm, comforting foods. It's about, we spend more time indoors in the winter, just a fact of life, right? And in the cold weather, our digestion changes. Again, bodies change with, not just our brains, but our bodies change with the seasons. So our digestions change, and time to pay attention to what we eat, kind of to our well-being, right? We're kind of on we're on a slower cycle in the winter. Things don't move as quickly. Things are just slower. Winter is slow and heavy, right? It's time to take it easy, relax, spend some time with your loved ones in the winter. Slow down. Isn't it nice that the holidays are there to give us a reason to get out of the house and connect with our loved ones, right? This is the time for the winter blues. The winter blues are real, right? So these connections with friends and family, getting out and seeing people and staying connected is extremely important, so we don't give in to some of those blues, right? This is the time for setting new goals, journaling, going deep within. In winter, in nature, is the time that the dead, the no longer necessary pieces dry up and fall to the ground to be cleaned out. And that's what's happening with us, right? We're hunkered down. We're in a state of reflection, gathering the lessons from the year, kind of sloughing off and releasing that which didn't serve us and that which we do not want to carry into the new year with us, and holding dear to those things we cherish and we want to hang on to throughout all the changes that happen. So time to begin. So in winter we have Muladhara. I wish I could say this better. Muladhara, the root chakra. It's associated with the winter. And this is the time to work on being grounded, right? Stability. This is time for putting down roots, which you will start manifesting in the spring. So what comes after the winter? The spring, the season of fresh beginnings, right? Spring is the time of new beginnings, new goals. We focus on the year ahead. The energy of the spring season is light and vibrant. It's clarity and joy and hope and possibilities, right? Nature begins to bloom. The grays of winter fade away to the beautiful, lush greens of spring, the lushness, right? Vibrant greens, the colors of flowers. This is a transition from the dark days of winter to the light, bright of spring. We love the spring. Everyone loves the spring, right? It's new. The newness, the hope, the possibilities to come. We are just so eager and happy in the spring, right? As nature comes to life, so do we. All that hunkering down, all that work in the winter, pushing out the debris, making space. So in the spring, there's space. We're light. We open up and there's space to be filled up by all that's going on around us. This is the time people change careers, right? Start new relationships, begin new friendships, start new projects. Nature's getting a makeover in spring, and so should we. It's a good time for us to have one as well. And I'm not talking about a makeover of your face, right? Although those are fun too. But we're talking about an internal makeover, right? A fresh new approach to everything, seeing everything with fresh eyes, with fresh possibilities. Ahahata. Again, I need to say these words better. Ahahata. Anyone out there that can help me pronounce the Sanskrit words for the chakras, I would be happy for some help. Ahahata, or the heart chakra, is associated with spring. Green. We learn to open up our heart in the spring to the new. Trust that beautiful experiences are coming our way. Possibilities, hope. That's our spring, right? And then spring slides into summer, which is the season of adventure. Summer is joy, right? Sunshine. The sun shines brightly. The days are long. Everything seems hopeful. Everything seems positive and happy, right? This is the time we're likely to open up to new adventures, try new things. Summer's just fun, right? We spend it with our friends. We spend it outdoors. We spend it doing fun things. Who doesn't love the summer? It all starts, I think, this is again my opinion, starts in the summer, and when you're in school, in a kid, and summer vacation comes. Remember running out of school at the last day of school, summer vacation, freedom, months of nothing to do. We know the boredom's going to set in later, but at that point, at the end of the school year, at the beginning of the summer, as the warmth is just starting to creep in, we've set our stage for the rest of our lives, right? For that explosion of happiness at the end of spring and the beginning of summer, that anticipation of fun, that joy in being alive time. we spend more time in nature, right? So we're getting a little extra boost of sunshine, getting a little extra boost of vitamin D, the happiness vitamin, right? The energy shift in the summer puts us in touch with our inner child, strips away sometimes vacation, being at the beach, going for long walks, sometimes strips away the burdens of adulthood, right? The burdens of responsibility, and lets us remember who we were deep inside, way back when we didn't have those troubles and we just were allowed to be and to feel and to express joy in any crazy way that came across us, right? This is the time of year, summertime, when we kind of get back in touch with that. We go down to the edge of the water and jump in exuberance, or just show our happiness to be alive in so many ways in the summertime, right? This is a time for we want to be outside. This is a time of fire. The fire element is big in the summer, right? And fire brings out, the fire element is passion, brings out our passion. This can be not necessarily romantic passion for anything, for a project, for our lives, for simply living, right? Just simply having more feeling, more expression, more of us. Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, is associated with the summertime, right? This is our associations of feeling strong and courageous, taking risks that empower us, make us feel confident. The summertime. We're just coming out of the summertime, right? We're just at the end of that explosion of joy of being alive with the summertime. Which brings us to right now. Not quite there yet, still technically summer, but, well, I don't know about you, this week we're having a heat flash here in California, so it really is summer, back to summer again. But this is September, right? As we move into September, we are starting to move to the end of summer and to the beginnings of fall. We're beginning to see it. Like I said, go to the store. Fall is everywhere. Can't walk anywhere without seeing orange leaves everywhere you go. My daughters and I had a big discussion about when is the appropriate. I said, I'm not ready for fall. I love the summertime. When is the appropriate time to start bringing out the fall decorations and leaning into the autumn season? Anytime, right? But here's autumn. Here we are in autumn. This is the fall. I don't know, my favorite season. I don't know about you. But fall, this is when nature starts to get moody, right? It's even evident as the leaves change, as the red and the brown and the orange. You can see it, right? The smell of the air starts to change. The heat. Again, we're going to wait till the end of this week because we're having a heat wave here. But the heat, the smell of the heat, the smell of the sun is going away, right? The air is getting what we call crisper. Hard to describe what crisper air feels like, but we all know it. You all know what I'm talking about. Rainy days start. The rain's going to start coming down. Rainy days can make us moody, right? They can heighten our emotions. Time to slow down, start making some diet changes, start getting ready for the winter, right? We start thinking about our emotional, our physical, our mental well-being. There's a lot going on in nature in this season. As we're winding down all the activity of summer and the earth is moving towards the dormancy of winter, the in-between change is tumultuous. That's a lot of change going on from the full bloom of summer to the darkness of winter, right? These changes bring about wind and like I said, rain and storms. The sign for fall is the element of air. Air sign symbolizes mental activity. We're deep in our brains right now. We've come out of summer. We're done with the riding the wave of joy of the summertime. We're looking towards the winter. The hunkering down is coming, and so we are preparing for that hunkering down. We are preparing for that. We are reflecting to reflect. Right? We're getting ready to shut down. Rain brings the water element. Right? That represents our emotions. So now the emotions are all at a heightened state. Again, the wind and the rain all bringing the emotions up to the heightened state. So we're just really aware of ourselves, right, in the fall. It's really just a time of transition. Again, transitioning from the careless bloom of summer to the dark work of winter. and in between. Not quite sure where we are. So the temperature begins to drop. We start running out of fuel slowly. The days start getting a little bit shorter. That's us right now. 7 o'clock last night, I noticed it was getting dark. That helps with our circadian rhythm, right? How we sleep, the darkness and the light. That's part of the changes. So we have seasons, but we go through mini seasons every day, don't we? There are seasons of the day. So these changes are cyclical and they're going on all the time around us. This is the time to step back and get in touch with those feelings, those emotions, this transition that's going forward. This is self-reflection. Lots of stuff starting to emerge as the fall falls over us. Release overthinking and stress. This is the time when you can get caught up in analysis paralysis and in overthinking and stress that you're creating the stress for yourself through this overthinking. Release it. Okay, this is going to be a hard one to say. Swadhisthana. Oh, pretty good. Swadhisthana, or the sacral chakra, right? The creativity chakra is associated with autumn, the color orange, passion, creativity, dancing. This is a time for boosting your creativity and nurturing yourself, right? Nurturing. When we balance the sacral chakra, we are learning to be in the flow of nature. And the fall is represented by this flow of nature, tumultuous as it might be. Being tuned into it can help put us into the flow of the change instead of fighting it. Instead of standing there as the flow is going all around you, being lost, being swept away into it, not knowing what's going on. Awareness lets us ride the flow, ride the wave, ride the wind as it blows us from. I love this alliteration. I love all these imagery terms. But as that little wind blows us from one season to the next, blows us from one mood to the next. When we balance this chakra, when we learn to flow with the seasons of life, with the nature of life, right? Then we're not fighting it. We're letting it. We are anticipating it. We know that there's going to be a period of a sad period, a down period. We know that the winter has us deep in reflection. Not so much in the summertime. We're not reflecting so much when we're just joyously jumping around in the sun, right? We get the spring where we start anticipating that joy, when we start planning for it, when we start just reveling in the clear spaces that we've created, because it came after the winter, after we cleaned out the closets in our head, after we moved the debris, the deadness, the parts that no longer serve us, the pieces that have had their time to bloom and have now shrunk down and need to be moved out to make space for next year's growth, the next great adventure on our plate. So that's our chat about the seasons. Lean into the seasons. Honor the wisdoms of nature, right? The cycles of life that are going on all around you. Because here's the deal. Whether or not you participate, whether or not you learn to join the flow, flowing in, flowing out, this change is going to happen anyway. Mother Earth, Mother Nature, the winds of time, the winds of change, the seasons of change, they're all going to happen. Spring is going to flow into summertime. Summer's going to flow into fall. Fall's going to kind of fall down into winter. Winter's going to burst into spring year after year after year. And it's going to happen with or without you, right? Mother Nature's busy. She got a schedule. She's keeping it. But understanding these cycles, being at one, again, back to nature, as we look for happiness, as we choose happiness in our daily lives, we know one of the pillars of happiness. I'm going to start calling these the pillars of happiness. One of the pillars of happiness. And I say this is a pillar because it doesn't matter what you're reading or what studies you're shown when it comes to feeling good, having positive thoughts, moving into positive emotions, having a feel good, having a joyous reaction to life. On every list on how to do that is getting back to nature, right? Getting back to simplicity, getting away from the fakeness of our digital, electronic, fast-moving, frenetic lives, and just sitting quietly in nature and letting that peace and that natural meditative environment help us just stay in touch with what's going on, right? And so as we do this, as this is our desire, as you happiness ambassadors who are here to be happier and spread happiness everywhere you go, and you're aware of this nature link, right? You're aware that nature brings about good moods, and that getting out there has significant beneficial impact to you as you get aware of this, being tuned into what's happening out there, whether you're looking at it at the window or you're outside participating in it. Being aware of what's happening in there is going to give you clues to what's happening in here. So that's our show for today. Thank you for joining me for Brewing Happiness. Hope you enjoyed your cuppa, coffee, tea, hot chocolate, whatever it is you love to drink. But I just treasure this time in the morning where we share a cup of coffee and have a little chat. Love to know what you think about the show. Leave me a note. Let me know. Somebody you know that could use this. Use a little little pick me up today. Send them a link. I'd love it. Anyway, until tomorrow morning, make it a happy day.